All right, folks, let's get ready to rumble. Weekly debrief. Hey, I appreciate your flexibility today. My son up in Vermont got done with his finals and stuff early, and I think they had a winter storm warning or something like that, and they were letting people off campus early, so he got to fly in a day early. So rushed down to Fort Lauderdale Airport to pick him up at 11 o'clock this morning and took him out to lunch. So appreciate that. Still sent out a couple trades that we'll talk about. We'll debrief AR again yesterday because a good comment from Jeff in the Ready Room that I want everybody to read. I think we have three-ish. I got to check with Susie, but three lifetime members. Like I said, just for our 10-year anniversary coming up here in December, we're going to reduce the lifetime memberships down to $12.5 from $17.5, which is their current rate. And if you're interested, throw in your hat in the ring there to be to go flying in the L39. So I think three or four folks. I got to double check with Susie. So shoot her an email in support or give her a call at 561-460-1255. A couple people said, hey, can I do it next year at this price or save us a lot? The answer's no. At the 12.5 price, folks, it's a steal. That's why it's up at 17.5, and it went from 10 to 12.5 to 15 to 17.5 over time. So locking in this rate right here and never paying anything again here at Top Gun Options, I mean, it's just it's a kind of a no-brainer to me, but that's me. All right. Let's go ahead and if you weren't in AR yesterday, please watch the replay because it was really interesting. And I want to debrief this because as we were sitting in the brief, this happened. Okay, the market literally started to pull back a little bit here, and then here we are right now, essentially almost back to where we were before this. Clearly, this was the if you don't remember, this was when Reuters came out and said, hey, we don't think, or we're hearing that there's not going to be a phase one agreement by the end of the year. I kind of laughed during that implosion and got bullish on it. Why? Because I've been saying that. So apparently Reuters needs better reporting or needs to become a TGO member. I said there's not going to be a phase one this year. We knew that essentially a week and a half ago when the market popped on the Chinese saying, hey, you guys, the United States agreed to roll back tariffs. Sweet. And I said, man, you got to sell into that pop because you haven't heard from Peter Navarro or Donald Trump. And I was literally getting my hair cut later in the day, and you heard from Peter Navarro. And then as I was going to the gym, we heard from President Trump. And the market gave all of it back. So it's interesting because this, this is why we're at Top Gun Options, right? Is because we think strategically. If you are a tactical trader, you could see this. Oh my God, this is the end, and we're not getting a phase one. What, folks? We've literally been in this for 20 months. 20 months. So I'm going to show you a chart of what happened today. Since yesterday afternoon, and trade headlines. Almost every one of these ups and downs is on a trade headline. But you know what they are now? They're squashed in a range. Look at this. If this was 8 months ago, that type of Reuters headline, the Dow would have been down 800 points. Does everybody remember those days? It seems like ages ago, but it really wasn't that long ago when those type of headlines caused like big swings in the market. So this is yeah, exactly, Kevin. The trade war is an iron condor. Essentially, we're these freakouts are starting to get smaller and smaller. Now, let me debrief what I did yesterday. I took it right in the chin. This is why you don't day trade or do stupid technical analysis. I looked at a bull put spread yesterday afternoon, a day trade that blew up in my face. Going into the close, it looked fantastic, and then it didn't. So don't do that. Stupid part on me. I don't do that stuff. Shouldn't have done it. It was stupid. That's why technical analysis sucks. And looking at ticks on a screen means nothing. Using your brain means everything. So bad on me. Hopefully not a lot of people got filled on that because it ran away immediately. I mean, it was good initially, and then it wasn't. It was great right up in, what was that in Top Gun? That was some really brilliant flying right up until the time you got killed. The moment you got killed, you never leave your wingman. So don't do that. That was stupid. I lost some money on that trade and kind of relearned that the stove is hot. Don't do technical. The only technical analysis you need to know, folks, is support, resistance, and moving averages. There's your technical analysis course, and I just saved you 10 grand. Everything else is stupid. You don't want to sit here watching this market tick by tick on a 1-minute chart. There are shops that do it, folks, and some of you might have gotten caught up in that day trading frenzy. So, yes, Scott, Diane, I felt like it was a bad trade, so I didn't do it. Diane, I love the fact that you said that. Susie read me some other lady emailed into support complaining about the size of the trade for tomorrow, this SPX trade that we'll take a look in a couple minutes. It's already up 35%. Folks, I can't tell you what to trade. So the lady, and I'll keep names out of it, but whoever emailed in, complaining about this, folks, this is the model portfolios are based on $100,000 accounts. And I can't tell you what to do. You have to figure out, what contract size you're trading based on your account. I would not be doing all of my trades. And never at any time, ladies and gentlemen, am I fully invested. Not in any of these portfolios do I have 100 grand at risk. Never. And I tell all my coaching folks, keep half of your powder dry. A half to 3/4 of your powder dry, especially coming in to what I think is going to be a bad January. Might be a bad December. I'm going to warn you here in a couple minutes of some potential stuff. Okay, so folks, if you're trading a smaller account, you should not be risking $5,000 per trade. That is a no-brainer, folks. So exactly, Larry. She has to take the action after running it through her SOP and only then place the trade that you have. Yeah, exactly. So I'm here to teach you, folks. You shouldn't be here just to shadow trade and trade what I trade, because that's not good. But let me read this, because this was Jeff. I don't know if you're in here. This was top notch. This kind of encapsulated everything that happened yesterday afternoon. I wanted to share my experience with some of the newer members here at TGO. Today was an interesting accelerated retirement. When the market got slammed today, we were in the brief. Wiz had to calm people down. I looked at my portfolio and said, crap, but understood why it was happening and didn't panic. At the worst point of the day, my portfolio was down 15%. It closed down 3%. I knew the reasoning for the market going down wasn't really news of any value. I bet I recoup the 3% loss from today and make gains by Friday. I sold nothing but a foray into Caterpillar that went my way for a 55% gain in 2 weeks. The confidence and knowledge I've gained since meeting Wiz is invaluable, even if he is a Navy guy. Jeff, unfortunately, is barely on our side. He's an Air Force guy. All of that goes to the training, both as a member and coaching. He and I did one-on-one coaching provided at TGO. A few years ago, I would have lost my mind. Now I step back and reevaluate. Today wasn't even close to the big one, and I knew it right away. Wiz knows what he's talking about, blah, 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 blah. So this is awesome. Okay. So whenever whenever anything happens like it did yesterday, when I was an instructor in the F-18 Hornet, or even with the guys I'm flying with now, teaching them formation flying and dogfighting in the L-39, if the jet isn't doing what you're telling it to do, put everything back where you found it. Let go of the controls and the throttles and the stick, and the jet will take care of itself, right? Same thing with the market. Okay, so let me show you what happened since yesterday and into today with the market. This is comical. Okay, so I got whiplash today. I'm like sitting in the car. I wasn't texting and driving, but I'm looking at the market. I'm cracking up as the thing was going all over the place today. Stocks dive after Chinese media warned Trump signing that Hong Kong bill will kill the trade deal. I'm like, I told you this, folks. 3 or 4 months ago, who was the first guy to tell you? I know I was the first guy to tell you, folks. I pay attention to this stuff. I live, eat, and breathe this stuff. I was the first one 4 or 5 months ago when the Hong Kong stuff really got big. I said, folks, I leaned real close to the screen. I said, Donald J. Trump is going to be forced to choose. He's going to be forced to choose between Hong Kong and a trade deal. So after the Chinese said, hey, man, if you sign that bill, we're not going to have a trade deal. Then what did China do? Ding dong. Hey, Mnuchin and Lighthizer, why don't you guys come over before Thanksgiving's next week? They're inviting these guys over to China before Thanksgiving. I mean, I'm sure these two guys already have. This guy is already in Aspen or in the Hamptons. I'll ask my sister where he is. But really? So the China, and 2 days or a day and a half, this seems like a year ago, but this is a couple days ago. Trump threatens to higher tariffs if China doesn't make a deal. So look at this, folks. We are literally all over the place. U.S. stocks slip amid conflicting signals on trade. But we rallied. We kind of got off the mat when the Chinese said, that. So let me take you to the chart. This is comical. This is yesterday, folks. I'm going to grab a highlighter here. Here we are in accelerated retirement. Reuters, breaking news. We're sitting here in the brief. I'm like, why is the market imploding out of the blue? I had my Twitter up. I had nothing. I'm like, Reuters is saying what I've been saying for a while, and the market imploded. And then everybody, and folks, remember what this is. And a bunch of you said it correctly in the brief yesterday. You ready? Algos. I can't even spell. I have a lot of buddies, man, who have algorithmic trading that read the computers, quote unquote, read headlines. They are tied into the Reuters feed, right? They're tied into the Reuters feed. And as soon as that came out, that happened. It's like the MCAS system on Boeing. Like initially the computer does something, and then the pilot steps in and goes, well, that's stupid. We kind of know that there ain't going to be a phase one. If anything, Trump might increase tariffs in December. And then people bought. Unfortunately for that shitty trade out of me yesterday, they didn't buy enough. Would have been nice today, but it's a day late and it doesn't matter. I took a max loss on that one. Here we go. The Senate, and this article is wrong, passes vote to support the Hong Kong protesters. And then lower. Then here comes Li Hu, cautiously optimistic about a deal this year. Wait a minute, what? Market popped. These are the futures, obviously. This is him over in China. And we flatlined. And then welcome to today. Look at today. Chinese Commerce Ministry says striving to reach a phase one trade deal this year. Wait a minute. I thought Reuters said yesterday we ain't going to get one of the. Well, that was yesterday. China's Wang Yi says China resolution opposes Congress passing the Hong Kong bill. Resolutely. Pop. China invites negotiators to talk for more talks. Oh, breaking news. Trump might delay the December 15th trade deal. China says, hey, if you sign that bill now, so literally this is like 20 months of this market in a day. Isn't this insane? Look at this is from yesterday. This is this time yesterday. Look at the market swings on this. But look at the market swings on this, folks. This is the S&P 500. You ready? 31, let's just round down. 31.15 and 30.95. Look at the range. Kind of like Kevin said a little while ago. This is almost iron condor time. This is why I sent, I'm looking at a new bear call spread out to Friday on next Friday on FXI. It seems so. A couple things. If you're not long volatility by today, you're insane because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go the biggest C I can ever do, and I'm going to do the littlest B I can be right now. Cautiously bullish. Folks, here, let me put it up here as a checklist. Two things. I don't know how long this is going to take. I got they're tied up with all this impeachment crap, but I got a couple loop buddies on the Hill. I don't know when the markup thing is going to be done between the House and the Senate for this for the support of Hong Kong thing. You would think it would be fast tracked. So if the president, so let's say if he signs that bill supporting Hong Kong, the market will go down. Period. If he does the 12-15 tariffs, the market will go down. If both of these things happen, you will see this market down at the 50-day moving average, period. Let me erase and start again. 12-15. If this thing is signed between now and the end of the year, the Hong Kong thing, the market will go down. If the president says, you know what, I'm going to punt the December tariffs, the market will go up. This, I believe, is the likely scenario. Okay? I think the president is going to have to thread the needle. If he does both of these, folks, if he does both of these, we're going to see an implosion in December. It ain't going to be in January, folks. It's coming. The way this market is trading right now in this tight range, the Dow's down like 15, the S&P's up a point, down a point, and hovering. This is very, very dangerous right here. So yeah, whoever said that a couple minutes ago, I agree. It might be a good time to play golf. and so I don't know. I'm trying to find out and hopefully they'll get back to me today. This impeachment bullshit, I'm not even going to talk about that. If he signs that, folks, the market is going to implode. I'm not going to give you a percent, but we have to take the Chinese at their word, folks. They have said if the president signs this bill supporting the Hong Kong, these are terrorists, folks. There's a bunch of China bots on Instagram and Twitter. It's funny, they have like 0 followers and they type in broken English. I'm like, okay, China bot, what floor of the People's Liberation Army headquarters are you on? Are you on the 12th floor? While U.S. President Donald Trump is not expected to veto the bill, if the president vetoes this bill, I think he should be impeached. There, I said it. If he does not sign a bill to support the Hong Kong protesters, I've had it with him. Which enjoys broad bipartisan support. Even the symbolic aspects may carry an extra significance, with a high-profile signing ceremony likely to further anger the Chinese government. The Hong Kong issue has the potential to influence the process of the trade talks. China will have to respond. If Trump signs it into law, so folks, this is nice. Thank God you've been a member here at TGO, man. What have I told you? I've told you for 20 months of this trade war. I'm like, we've traded the shit out of this trade war, and it's been a blast. A couple losers here and there along the way, of course. Either a blowout to top or a blowout to bottom, but net, we have been printing money on this trade deal. But I've told you since day one what? It has nothing to do with trade and everything to do with Hong Kong, Taiwan, and strategic dominance. No other service out there told you in January and quoted and showed you the picture of the Chinese admiral at a conference over in Asia saying, laughing, what are you talking about, a trade deal? We can give a shit about a trade deal. This is about a real war and taking out the United States. I'm like, holy crap. Kevin, I'm about to get there, folks. So, this is a U.S. politician acts to harm Hong Kong's position as an international center of finance, shipping, and trade via legislation will also undermine other nations' interests, including the U.S. This was a clear warning that China may scuttle the trade deal if the bill is passed. The bill has been passed. It should have said signed. So, I'm going to tell you me in a couple minutes, but this is all about training you. I'm training you to be a single seat fighter pilot, to be a single seat trader. Put these two things up on your whiteboard, Hong Kong and 1215. Somebody asked, what will make the market go up? What will make the market go up is if this thing doesn't come up. Because, folks, not to give you a civics lesson, but let's just review. The Senate passed this version, the House passed this. They got to meet in the middle where all the staffers meet and hash something out. But we ain't no babe in the woods here. We know it's going to say. You agreed to one country, two systems, blah, blah, human rights. It's whatever the resolution of the conference or the markup committee, whatever it's called, conference committee, it's going to be pretty black and white. There's no way on God's green earth Donald Trump does not sign that. If he vetoes that, I will want the man impeached. We must stand with these protesters in Hong Kong, man. They lived under British, quote unquote, rule. They know freedom, they know capitalism, and they don't want this. That's why they're willing to die for it, folks. We're seeing Lexington and Concord in Kowloon. And if our president doesn't support them, I do not support our president, period. And don't give me this shit like you sound like Donald Trump, right? Remember his stupidity at the beginning of this stuff? Well, as you know, Hong Kong is owned by China, and I'm not going to tell President Xi how to do his job. I'm like, what did he just say? And then, thankfully, whoever got to him and pulled him aside and said, "Dude, I know nobody can tell you what to say. Shut up." And then, like the next day, the tweet was like, "Oh, well, I don't know why people are blaming me for not sounding smart on Hong Kong. Everybody just take a breath and go to their separate corners." Yeah, trust me, folks. How many times have I showed you pictures of people running around with American flags or Trump hats or "This is why we need our own Second Amendment" signs? I agree, Graham. If Trump doesn't sign a Hong Kong protection bill or whatever it's going to be called, he loses the election. Well, folks, he can't not sign it, so let's just put the boxes up. He's going to sign it. I just don't know if it's going to be this year. If it is this year, ladies and gentlemen, getting back to Kevin's point, get out of every long right now. China will not only say the trade deal is off, they will increase tariffs on us and sanction us. The market will implode. Can it happen before Christmas or the end of the year? Yes. Will it? I don't know. So let me put I'm trying, man. You guys know me. One of the reasons you're here is I got a big Rolodex, man. I like buying people booze and being friends and having buddies around the world that know stuff, and we usually hear sooner. So Hong Kong ? Folks, they will go apeshit. They're telling us. They're warning us. This is kind of like Iran. Hey, man, just telling Israel and the United States, when we get a nuke, not if, when, we're going to kill as many of you as we can. What's our reaction? Oh, you crazy talkers. China's like, hey, no shit, man. All right, so that's the Hong Kong thing beaten into a pulp. But, folks, these are now the rest of the world. We've seen this since you've been a member here. Trade and Hong Kong are inextricably linked. It's glad to see the financial media finally waking up to this. John Harwood, a DNC plant and CNBC, like, it's looking like this trade deal might hinge on Hong Kong. I'm like, are you retarded? How did you get a job? So, yeah, David, that's exactly right. When the bill is sent to the president, he's got 10 days to sign, or if he doesn't sign, it's a pocket veto. But it's when it's sent to the president, folks. So after it leaves the committee, right? So the clock starts kind of when they knock on the White, they drive from Capitol Hill to the White House and say, "Hey, Mr. President, this is going to." I was kind of making that up, but there might be some fanfare here, folks. If I were a Democrat and I know Trump, he wants what? He wants a trade deal, baby. And if you're a piece of shit Bill Maher type of Democrat who I want us to go into a recession. I want the stock market to crash just so the president loses. I think the Democrats are going to love putting this president in this position. Dennis, was it? How I don't? Please give me a link to where that is. Dennis is saying it was sent to the president yesterday. If that is the case, ladies and gentlemen, and he's got 10 days, I would get out of every long that you have right now. Yahoo Finance. I didn't even know they were still in business. I haven't looked at Yahoo Finance in years. I have not seen that. Somebody go off and do some research real quick. I mean, I'm trying to get my buddies aren't going to answer their phones until this impeachment thing's done for the day. David, I'm pretty sure was sent to conference yesterday. That's what I understand, guys. I'm fairly certain if it was sent to the president yesterday, it would be front page news. So I'm pretty sure it went to conference. So I don't want to drop anchor on this. Dutch, when I say get out of all your longs, that doesn't mean get out of your long volatility. So when I mean get out of all your longs, meaning if he signs this, China's going to respond. I just read you that the Chinese Foreign Ministry said that. They're like, dude, if you sign that, we're going to respond. Okay. Where's their exact quote? I read from the Chinese mouthpiece the other day, right? His Twitter, the China Twitter account, that editor guy, making fun of U.S. farmers and stuff like that. So, all right. So here's the sends to Donald Trump. Hold on. Hong Kong. Let's just do this live. Hong Kong. Let's see if we can see anything. Whoa. China says Trump is on edge of precipice as Hong Kong bill hits his desk. Oh, man. I love Washington. I hate Washington Post. Look at these South China. We all lose. Here's the South China Morning Post. We all lose if Donald Trump signs bill relating to Hong Kong. At a time when pessimism and uncertainty have grown deeper roots, the U.S. president's only viable option is to veto this. Look at the Chinese media. Wow. So we got 10 days, folks. Hold on. This is the Chinese mouthpiece. I'm not going to take that. But all right, it sounds like it. Maybe they did just kind of do the whole Hong Kong bills. All right, CNN. I can't believe I just clicked on this link. I think I'm gonna vomit. Hong Kong bills go to Trump after House Speaker signed it. I can't see it. Yep. All right, guys. Now, oh wait, I saw something as we left that. Given China's, what did it say? Beijing strong react. Oh wait, China will. Yeah, folks, China will have to take strong countermeasures to defend our national sovereignty, security, and development interests. If the U.S. insists on making wrong decisions, folks. If the clock is ticking and he's got 10 days to sign this, I believe scenario 2 is what's going to happen. Listen to me. Hong Kong in 12:15. This is going to happen. This will not. This will cause the market to implode. Him doing this will make the market go up. But let's do the math, ladies and gentlemen. He ain't going to pocket veto 7, 8, 9, 10. He has between now and December 1st. So essentially next week, folks, this is going to come to a head. Oh, and by the way, next week is when the articles of impeachment are going to, they're going to impeach the president. Folks, we got a storm a coming with a lot of issues here. So, now let me tell you what I am going to do. Can't tell you what you're going to do. This is not good. And this is why being an options trader is fantastic, because we can exit longs in the blink of an eye and get bullish, bearish, whatever the hell we need to do in the blink of an eye. Trump can refuse to sign it, and then the Senate can override the veto. Trump can then say he did not vote for it. The Chinese, Arthur, it's a great point. I love the 500-pound brain you got on. You are absolutely correct. There's no way. If Trump does that, he loses my support. He can't. The president of the United States is seen as the beacon, to use a Reagan-esque, we're the shining house on the hill of freedom. My God, man, these protesters are running around with Trump 2020 hats, for God's sake. He can't do that. Can he? Sure. Does he? You'll lose Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham is like willing to step in front of the president to take a bullet. But with this child, with the Hong Kong thing, no. So listen to me, folks. This is a big one. You have to make a decision. This is how I feel like this chart, because going into this earlier in the week, last week and late last week and early into this week, what was everybody talking about, man? This is FOMO. People don't want to miss out on this rally. But I like I said, I've been spending time with Matthew today. We got lunch and stuff like that. I've been ignoring call. I got a long night tonight because there's a lot of buddies. Everybody's putting out feelers as to screw the FOMO. If you are chasing this rally into year end and we get an implosion, now you're screwed even more. Not only no bonus, you're getting fired. So you, lady and gentlemen, individually, have to make a decision. Me, I will tell you, after flying nearly 3,000 hours in the F-18 Hornet, after trading, doing this stuff for 27 years, I'm telling you that the hair on the back of my neck is standing up. And in my lifetime, in my career as a naval aviator and a trader, anytime the hair on the back of my neck has stand up, almost all the time, something really bad is coming. Okay? So I would most likely exit any bullish positions except on volatility. Okay? Is it worth it to be contrarian on this? Here's what you could do, guys. You could exit all the long. I'm going to get skinny, folks. And this is a great Obama teachable moment here. Cash is a position. We got Thanksgiving coming up. We got Christmas coming up. If you don't want to be tied to your screen or the TV wondering what the hell's going on, I would get in the cash. And you could do, Kevin's, because being a contrarian sometimes can work out. So what could you do? You could have long VIX calls and long S&P 500 calls. No, JD, we're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes. So when I'm saying exit all along, I'm talking about these the seasonal trades. I would absolutely get out of. I think Visa was kind of hanging up, or I think it went under 180 a little bit. Yeah, it's XRT. The calls were looking pretty good. Folks, I'm telling you, I feel a storm coming. I absolutely believe that Trump is going to sign this, and if he's got 10 days to do it, the market is going to implode. I would short the S&P 500. I would get long volatility, and I would actually burner trade. So I got filled on this FXI trade. I would burner trade So the bull put spread for tomorrow is actually looking pretty good. The 41.05. Everybody happy with that one? Okay. The bull, what's this? The bear call spread on Brazil, the 43.5 is looking good for tomorrow. And this bull put spread that I sent out earlier is actually looking good. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the calm before the storm. Okay. Graham, I could not agree more. Graham says we are setting up for a 10 to 20% pullback because the market is ahead of its ski tips, Brexit, election. Yes. So, folks, I would, and where's the FXI right here? This is the one out the next Friday. The 41.5, 42. And with FXI at 41.33, whoa, that's, that's close to an at the money bear call spread. Folks, I would do a burner trade on FXI. In the next 10 days, if Trump, so even if Trump doesn't sign it, like somebody said, and the Senate over, that takes a little time, right? I think they do that day. I think the Senate would vote to override his veto in the blink of an eye. But he'd look stupid. There's no way President Xi or his generals sit there and go, well, he didn't do anything about it. But no, man, it doesn't matter. We've already seen this, folks. Look at how ape shit they go with LeBron, with an NBA guy. You had LeBron James and all these other human pieces of feces, all about the Benjamins, right? Bowing down to their dear Chinese overlords in the blink of an eye. The Chinese wanted that NBA, what was it, manager, whatever, the Houston official, they wanted him fired for supporting the Hong Kong protesters, man. Fired. So there's no way that China doesn't go apeshit. They take any little slight as a punch in the face, right? They don't. All right, so let's start talking turkey here. First of all, you have got to be long volatility. This thing, I guarantee you, between now and a couple weeks, we are back up here. You're going to get one of these, or maybe even one of these, period. If you are not long VIX calls right now as I'm speaking to you, you're nuts. Or you're sitting there going, Wiz, I don't think any of this is bad. I don't think he's going to sign the thing, and I think Chris, he's not going to do the tariffs. You can be that person, folks. You can have both these up on your screen right now. Hong Kong and 12.15. You could go, he's not going to sign it, and he's not going to raise tariffs. If you're an X and an X, ignore everything I'm saying and get long. This is my job as a briefer. This is my job as an instructor, as an intelligence officer, right? You're an admiral, you're a general. Or if you're some pudgy army guy, you demand to be called lieutenant colonel. So, lieutenant colonels, if you are a double X, he ain't signing at Hong Kong. He's not putting tariffs on 12.15. We will see the rest of November. It's a week. We'll see a December rally. Everything I said up until today, if you believe that, then game on. That ain't me anymore, folks. I'm like Colin Powell, man. He said, never get so close to your position that when you are presented with additional details that you can't jump off of that position and change your mind. So this is, I think we're not going to see a January implosion. We might see a December implosion. If you want to trade that, sit up in your chair and listen. If you don't, go to cash. It's the holidays. Enjoy your family. Stop looking at the market. But if what I'm telling you is compelling, so now we have some Rumsfeld. We got a Rumsfeld part of that quote right now. There are known knowns right now. We know that the president's clock is ticking, and the media really aren't covering it right now. Why? Because they're chasing after shiny red balls, literally hours upon hours of impeachment proceedings, which in the most recent Rasmussen poll, and they're polling independents, it's disgusting now how much independents are turned off by this. So if Nancy Pelosi's a head counter, this is starting to blow up in their face. There ain't no smoking gun. I mean, the dude that actually was with the president said, nope, the guy never said that to me, never, not, so anyway. But that's one of the reasons that this isn't, if there was not an impeachment inquiry going on, we would be looking at these kids building barricades. We'd be looking at these kids with bow and arrows. We'd be looking at that one guy getting shot in the chest. So yeah, so a couple ways to trade this. The first, I got to say, until I'm blue in the look again, guys, this is the lowest period of extended low volatility I've seen in years. I cannot physically remember the last time we've seen look at this. Cut that right there and try and lay that in somewhere here. You cannot lay that any. Oh yeah, you can, Wiz. Oh geez. When's the last time Wiz saw an extended period of low volatility like this? Right around the time everybody shorting volatility got killed and the VIX went up 300%, whatever it is. That goes right there. This was the last time you heard me brief you on an article that said there are $2 trillion in short vol trades on, and they all got wiped out. We printed money. For every buyer, there's a seller. For every seller, there's a buyer. We were on the other side of that trade. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a coiled spring. So the first thing I would do, again, let me lead with get out, get on cash, enjoy the holidays, and enjoy the popcorn. And watch what's going to we've never been here before, folks. 27 years, I've never been trading through a trade war. I've never been trading through a president. Most of the time, I don't think, I can't remember the last time I heard a president move the markets was like Barack Hussein Obama losing our AAA credit rating. There was random times where presidents like moved the markets. So the first thing, Graham, so folks, let's remember all of our intelligence gathering here. So in the middle of this, let's go to the chart. If Trump signs this bill, there's going to be barriers. China invites us to talk, further talks. The Wall Street Journal, man. I just showed you the article. So these guys want what? Ladies and gentlemen, they're doing the math like I'm doing. China knows that the president has 10 days to sign that bill. This guy and this guy hop on a plane to see this guy. You know what he's going to say? You know what, guys? We're going to give you everything. But if the president, 2 days from now, he's got 2 days left, or 3 days, right? Wow, this is gamesmanship, man. Look at this shit. So there's Thanksgiving. There's 10 days. I love this shit. Look at this. Why did the Chinese, out of the blue, not out of the blue, but today say, hey, can you guys come over before Thanksgiving? They know that he's got 10 days to sign that. Wow. It's funny when I heard people talking today like, well, geez, they're going to talk more. These guys want to talk right away. They want to talk right away, folks, because of that. Yeah, the Senate unanimously approved it. There ain't no way Donald Trump ain't signing it. So let me get back to this. Step one, long vol. I've covered it 3 times this week. And you know what? I'm fine with the January VIX calls, obviously, because of that. If you don't have your VIX on or you want to add to it, folks, go out. It would be the December 4th. Something's going to happen, and it's going to be in the next 2 weeks, right? Even I don't think Donald Trump waits until midnight on the 14th to announce that he's either increasing the tariffs or stopping them. It's going to be before that. So maybe the December 4th calls or December 11th, if you just want to go a little further out to the 15th deadline. I don't think that's I don't think that's what's going to happen. The Chinese are good right now, man. Hey, we want to see you between now and next week. If I was Mnuchin, I'd be like, dude, I'm hosting my family. He's got a massive place in the Hamptons. Dude, I already got Thanksgiving plans, so I'm not coming over. Both sides are struggling to strike a limited deal to help de-escalate trade tensions between the world's two largest economies. Wow. No. No. Okay. So, all right. Yeah, I mean, this was Wednesday. I mean, so the president said, I don't think they're stepping up to the level that I want. What do you mean the level that you want? They haven't even bought a soybean yet, dude. The talks are in a fragile state. Both sides are locked in a game of chicken, and the clock is ticking towards December 15th. So you have to ask yourself, there's the summary into asking yourself what you believe. I, up until today, was a believer that Donald Trump doesn't want a dark Christmas. I absolutely still believe he doesn't want a red Christmas with the market down. He doesn't have a choice. I got to go back and find the recordings from about 4 to 6 months ago when I said the Chinese are going to force this president to choose between Hong Kong and the trade deal. I remember you guys all voting. Remember this? I just didn't think it was going to happen in December. And not for lack of knowledge, it was because the Senate just did this. Nancy and her crew were October, and the Senate was the other day. And yeah, Kevin, and exactly right. What have they been doing? Screw screw American farmers. Bolsonaro, the Trump of the tropics. Yeah, good, Dennis. Many times, Christine. I was in the class. Well, guys, I said it a lot, right? Because I knew this was going to happen. This was a career call. I remember back in the day, we weren't even briefing. Not well, we were, of course, we were, because that's how you trade now. SOT. We were briefing this. The financial media weren't covering this. I said, folks, ignore those headlines. We'll trade them. We've traded the hell out of the headlines, but at the end of the day, we always knew this day was coming. So, all right, we got to get going. Long volatility. The AM next to the expiration means those expire at the opening bell. Once the VIX has a print, an opening print, that's when. So the last day to trade those would be the day before. Okay. Yeah, folks, and you have to look at the Chinese position. Always, folks, I red team, right? I red team our trades live. I sit here and go, what, so red team the Chinese. Become your enemy. Look at the Chinese point of view. If we allow dudes running around with Molotov cocktails and bow and arrows to succeed in Hong Kong, it's going right through Shenzhen and onto mainland China. Everybody in Taiwan. I haven't heard from this worries me. I 3 or 4 emails and no response. My buddy Macquarie in Hong Kong. That's the world. That is before all of this, folks. I used to laugh when CNBC would start in the morning. Welcome to the financial capital of the world. I used to laugh because it was Hong Kong, and that now, well, it's London, to be honest with you. The financial capital, the hedge fund and financial capital of the world is London. It used to be Hong Kong. So every citizen on that island nation or state, if you're China and you're listening, of Taiwan is watching all of this. Jennifer, how many contracts to buy for VIX? Jan 22nd, 2017 call. I have no idea, Jennifer. I can't. This is a perfect example. I can't tell you what to do. Depends on how big your portfolio is, how much you want to risk. The max loss in buying some calls is what you pay for them. If you buy 10, I'm just bringing these up. If you buy 10 of these, you're risking $1,500. They can go to zero. These calls can go out worthless. But if between now and December 11th, these 14.5 calls, if the VIX, if Trump signs the deal and the VIX explodes, these things will be printing money. So I can't. It's up to you, Jennifer. You're the pilot in command of your aircraft, of your portfolio. Me in the other portfolio, I think I bought like 30 out to January. And then shadow almost every trade over in another brokerage account. Okay, Dutch, I got to repeat it. Repetition is the key to success. All right, let's move on. So let me put a checklist on the screen here for what you can potentially do. One is Benjamin's, baby. Go to cash. Enjoy the holidays. Don't worry about the stuff, and just kind of hang out and watch. This is incredible. Even if up until this point and coming to TGO, if you hadn't traded like this, I don't know how the hell you made money or existed. You gotta, especially with this stuff. Looking at that chart of diagramming out what's gone on in the past 24 hours, I've never seen anything like it. But like I said, and I just read you what China said, they're like, this is the precipice. So look at this market action. It's in a tight range. 8 months ago, we would have been up, down 1,000 points, right? Remember those days? Dow sees a 2,000 point swing in 3 days. Remember those times? Okay. So step one, let me get going here because I want to make sure I get all this in. Go to cash. Step two, long, vol, short the market, short SPX. Now I wouldn't short it. Short it would mean buying puts. But these are kind of the same thing in this respect, right? If the market implodes because of he signs this thing or he increases the tariffs, volatility is going to explode. So you could do one or both of these. Okay. Step three, yeah, if the S&P is listening to me, that's what's going on. I'm talking the market down into the close. Well, guys, this is what's happening. I was on the trading floor. I'd be having briefs like this, man, where people are starting to wake up to the reality of what's going on. Step three, or option number three, so to speak, burner trades. Let me just put BT. Burner trades. What would you do burner trades on? I do bearish burner trade on FXI, and I do a bullish one on VXX. Regardless of the next, easily out the next Friday, you got to be bearish on FXI. So this one out the next Friday is a must. Let's just look at the chart of FXI. We went right down as we predicted so we peaked on the stupidity. We sold, I told you to sell into this, and man, little yay, boo. And let me say this, if we get the bad that's going to happen, that I believe is going to happen, this is a Scotty in the engine room moment. There is no way on God's green earth the PBOC has enough in the engine room, the invisible hand of the PBOC, to prop their markets up. If you were here years ago, what was that, 2015 was it? Whenever the Chinese, they had their kind of 2008 financial crisis, 2009. Oh yeah, right here. Does everybody remember that? Remember, we went into this thing. I told you this was going to happen. I used the Joe Kennedy analogy. What happened? Like the month before this happened, I showed you a picture of it was like a whatever he was. He was like a dude bent over a wagon, like leaning on his cart in Shanghai. He was like selling oranges or something like that. He had his flat screen up looking at a trade application. He was looking at a chart. I'm like, this is a Joe Kennedy moment. When he walked into work that one day and said, the shoe shine guy just gave me a stock tip. Sell everything. And what was it? A week to 2 weeks later, the market imploded. So when this happened in China, does everybody remember this? They arrested, I can't name everything they did. They arrested 200, quote, financial journalists who were putting out bearish stories. They banned short selling as unpatriotic. They ordered their large financial institutions and pension funds to buy stocks. Does everybody remember that? And it failed. Matter of fact, each day that went by when they tried to order the market to go up, it's like, circuit breakers in the market, folks. When those circuit breakers kick in, well, we put these things in place to calm the market down. Oh yeah? Well, when you can't get out of a trade because there's a circuit breaker, guess what happens when those circuit breakers come out? You go ape shit even more. So why am I ranting about that? Because I think if bad happens, we're going to have another one of these opportunities to do like a, what was that, an 18, 20 grand burner trade like we did back here. What's a burner trade, you ask? Have a bear call spread on, which I am filled on, and buy some puts. I have to confirm. Make sure you watch Friday's market wrap up tomorrow. Like I said, I got a busy night trying to call guys in DC. I need to find out when the president has to sign this by. I mean, I'm not. We all just kind of poked around the internet together. Pretty sure he's got 10 days. I was a political science major, but I was usually hungover. So if he does, he might wait to sign it until over the weekend. But man, I got to be glued to this because guess what? Next Thursday's Thanksgiving. If Mnuchin and Lighthizer accept the invitation to hop on a plane and go to China, they got to be packing their bags right now, folks. So here we are. And there's another potential issue. What if Mnuchin and Lighthizer go, thanks for the invite. We got family stuff to deal with, or let's just talk on the phone. I think that's going to be seen as a negative for the market. All right, enough mumbling. I'm talking out loud for a reason, because I buy some puts down here. It looks like and 40. At the next Friday, probably those 40 puts, and these are pretty cheap, right? Those are some cheap ass puts. I would be buying puts out the next Friday. Yeah, Graham, that's kind of where we are. China's QE, their quantitative easing. I'm telling you, man, that they are Ben Bernanke, testifying in front of Congress going, dude, I'm giving you all I got. I don't have any more ammo. You guys got to do something. So a lot of moving balls in the air here, folks. A lot to juggle. I get it, but hopefully I distilled it down to I'm an aviator, man, and a trader, and a checklist, and mapping things out helps me. So if all this stuff is kind of like, you know what, man, I'd rather watch. That is a great strategy, because I could be wrong. Kind of like Kevin said, what if you take the contrarian view? If you take the contrarian view, keep on everything. We keep on trucking. Ignore all this stuff, and not ignore it. You know what I'm say that's not going to happen. But I think that's dangerous. I think that's dangerous, and I think it's foolish. That's my own opinion. But you fly your own jet. Ain't foolish, Wiz. I'll see it at the merge, and let's go dogfight. You got it. But a little bit of a market sell-off into the close here. So. Kevin, this is a ledge with SPX. If you're getting nervous about the couple SPX trade, man, I didn't even have time to go through each. Well, we talked about weekly options. If you think, this 3090, 3085, if you're getting a little squirrely, I would most likely exit these. Yeah, Craig, we haven't even talked about that, have we? The USMCA deal. My God, man. Nice job, Nancy. So if you're feeling a little squirrely, I'd most likely either not do this trade or exit it. Okay. So this is a big one, guys. This is the shift. Yeah, the PLT, the 3105, whatever it is, 3110. I'd get out, folks. This is a ledge rate here, and even the Chinese are saying that. They're like, hey, man, this trade deal is on a precipice right now. You got a choice, Donald. And the day has come, as we predicted. You either sign that agreement or you want a trade deal. We're going to be nice. Come on over. You sign it, we're going to implode. So I would exit. Let me wrap up here, because I got a lot of phone calls and shit to. It's comical. Well, it isn't comical, folks. Anytime I try to go skiing with the family. Anytime I need to do something like, hey, let me go pick my son up at the airport. I'm in the car, oh, come on, guys. Graham, I would get out of the XRT. I would get out of Visa. I get out of all of that stuff. Here's the good thing, folks. Even if they're for a small loss right now, here's the good thing. Yeah, I can't even take a vacation. Here's the good thing. if we hang out on the ledge here and something good happens, I don't know what that is, to be honest with you. I don't know. Mnuchin and Lighthizer go on an airplane, and hey, we are going to have a phase one. If they do that, we're going to get that, and you and I and all of us can jump back and get bullish. But folks, that can't happen because he is going to sign that damn Hong Kong thing. So we go back to I started the webinar with this, and I'm going to end it with this. Here's my prediction. Let me do this again. This happens, this doesn't. He signs the thing, and we go apeshit in the next 2 weeks, week and a half. Then he's going to do this, and the market's going to rally. Does everybody understand that? Christine, Ralph, let me say all of this stuff again, one more time. I would close any long bullish position that isn't volatility, I would get out of, folks. The 30, 80, 85 bull put spread, guys, anything, guys. I would be, let me wrap up here, folks. I'm starting to repeat myself. I'd be long vol, short SPX, and FXI, guys. Do not sit here and hope. If you're sitting here going, well, a couple of these trades are negative, do you want them at max loss? Don't do that. Arthur went long, straight 13 VIX calls. What opinion that nearest expiration? Kevin, you could do that. I mean, so Kevin brings up a good point. You know, if you want to hang for a couple days, folks, you could maybe reduce your risk by doing what? What did I say about 45 minutes ago? These were some big developments, but look at the range of the market. 30.95, 31.15-ish. These are some big freaking events. Look at these headlines, guys. Take a screenshot of this, or I'll put this article in the chat box. But we stayed in a range. So Kevin brings up a good point. Hey, maybe tomorrow I throw on a couple bear call spreads and make these iron condors, because it does look like we're in a range. I will warn you, with raising my voice, that iron condors are great until they're not, and you get blown out of the top or the bottom for a headline. Does that make sense, folks? Be very, very careful. I'm going to tell you that this tight range on these big headlines will not last. One of these headlines, you ready, folks? One of these headlines is going to be true. You ready for that? One of those, look at the two circles. Either we're going to get a deal or something bullish very soon, or it's going to implode on the Hong Kong issue. This is it right there, those two circles, guys. But, and then, like I said, I got to go, but listen to me. I think we get this and then that. The president will sign the Hong Kong thing, and he will delay the tariffs. The Hong Kong thing comes first. So if you don't feel like, you know what, this is a better way to put it. If you don't feel like getting out of some Jan 21s because you say, you know what, Wiz, you're right. If you can experience, listen to me, if you can experience some short-term pain, what do I mean by that? The next week and a half, the clock is ticking for the president to sign the Hong Kong deal. He does. We're going to get kicked in the teeth by China. I think the week after that, the president says, you know what, even though they hit us hard, I'm not going to do the December 15th tariffs. Is everybody following me? These things are staggered. Hong Kong's signature thing has a drop dead date. The triple D, we call it in the Navy. What's the drop dead date on this? A week and a half. Then we have the December 15th tariffs. Now, I'm going to wrap up my brief with a little asterisk down here. There is a possibility that if the president signs, not if, when the president signs the Hong Kong thing, and China kicks us in the teeth, that Donald Trump goes, you know what? F me, F you. That's why I'm worried, folks. I'm not worried in the worried sense, because we can make money off this. Everybody give me a vertical head nod that you have heard everything on this brief. Watch the replay again if you need to. That's the black swan event, folks, is the Hong Kong thing and the president does the tariffs. That's the one where I drew this. I told you up until this point, I don't think Donald Trump wants a bad Christmas. He likes an up market. But the dude, I remember him saying, walking out to one of his press conferences to the helicopter that, you know what, the market's going to undergo some short-term pain, but this is a longer-term thing. I'm like, wow. Does everybody remember him saying that during one of those dark days? The guy knows over time that markets go up. The guy knows that over time he can pick up the phone and go, you know what, G, let's just do this thing, and we're going to get one of those. Folks, Donald Trump literally has it in his power to make this market go up. Isn't that insane at the end of the day? He can get a deal. You and I will all sit here and laugh as the market goes up and make money, but we're all going to go, it ain't worth the paper it's written on. And the Chinese are going to cheat. Wiz is on point drawing up battle plans. This is the only way I know how to do it, man. This is my whiteboard. We'd be in the ready room in the squadron right now mapping out the threats. And that's what I did in this brief. Okay, so that's what I think this is the most likely scenario. He signs it, they hit us hard, and he goes, F you, F me, F you back, and then here's some tariffs for Christmas. And then I think we see a January rally. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, Greg, sounds to me that the Chinese are threatening in order to get tariffs delayed. So I absolutely, yeah, Arthur, I'd be buying I wouldn't do SPY. I don't trade SPY at all, or never, or rarely. It would be SPX. All right, last couple questions. With the market waffling pending the signing or not signing of the Hong Kong agreement, why wouldn't we just hold and watch our SPX trade for Monday? Well, obviously, guys, the market's closed. What I'm getting at is if you're buying what I'm selling with all these potential different outcomes, I would not be. Don't sit there and hope is what I'm getting at. RM. I'm not sure what your first name is. So that's what I'm getting at. Don't sit here and be looking at a losing trade and go, well, let me just sit in this a little longer and hope. And then we're looking at a Dow down 600 day and you're like, son of a bitch. I'm giving you the intelligence to make your decision. Does that make sense? You're the Moses of options. So RM, it's a great question. Dennis, thanks for the civics update. Good job, man. Pocket veto is only available if Congress is adjourned. That's right. If he doesn't sign while Congress is in session, yeah, it can become law without his signature. Good catch, Dennis. I should remember all this shit, but like I said, I was hungover in my political science classes. The options whisperer. I wish, man. Kevin, yeah, saw a little foreshadowing with Amazon today, eking lower. Folks, nobody will escape all of this if it happens. The only thing that you're going to see going up is volatility. And I mean, somebody asked earlier, guys, I'm not ignoring that. Gold. If you want to be in the GLD or the GOLD, or if that's one of your some thucking instruments when the market implodes, yeah, you could get long gold in a heartbeat. But I don't want to spend too much time on that. All right. Thanks, Ken. I appreciate it. Yeah, this was a workout, but this is what you have to do, man. I'm training you to be able to do this on your own. If you could see my wall, I got these big Post-its, the big sticky ones, and my whiteboard. You got to get this stuff up, man, or at least a trade journal. You got to write. You got to look at all this intelligence, and it's a funnel, right? So I'm trying to teach you guys to funnel all this information, take in all these sources, and you come to a decision right here. Bullish, bearish, volatile, neutral, or whatever. SOT. Get that strategic intelligence, look at what's going on operationally, and then execute. All right. So make sure you watch Friday's market wrap up tomorrow. Look at what happened in 24 hours since our AR brief. I've completely changed my sales. This is what's good about being an options trader. You can look at, holy crap, look at what happened in the past 24 hours. We need to shift our sales, man. Here's the most recent intelligence from the front lines. Thank you for this intelligence. We're making new decisions. Unite the clans. Exactly. Thanks, Asa, the wizard. I wish that's why my call sign was Wiz. All right, good stuff. So if I watch Friday's market wrap up tomorrow, I'm going to be trying to get a hold of a lot of people tonight, this is good. This is good stuff. But like I said, if there's any, we use this saying all the time in aviation. If there's any doubt, there's no doubt. Meaning, if there's any doubt, man, and you just kind of want to sit this one out, then get on your hands, sit on your hands, right? Or do what Kevin, proposed. Maybe turn these things into iron condors. Be careful. An iron condor right now, literally, folks, is a hand grenade, because something is going to do that. And we've been along one of these. And if I am using all my intelligence, I think that might happen. So, all right, guys, sorry for going over a little bit, but that was needed. I think I got everything out of my system. Watch the Friday market wrap up tomorrow. Do me a favor. And like I said, Jeff, great. He put it right through the bullseye in the ready room. Get in the ready room between now and tomorrow. Post your concerns, post your intelligence. You guys need to be in here, man. Get in the ready room and get in here, period. Okay, this is where you need to be talking back and forth, talking to me and everything like that. Thanks, Larry. I appreciate it. So there's the link to the ready room. Get in there. Okay. So, all right, guys, I got to go. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and this is going to be interesting. God bless. I'll talk to you guys later.